Hey, welcome to the Son of a Geek podcast with your glorious leader and host, Spitzer. And with me, he's almost as useless as the G in lasagna. My co-host sitting right over there, it's Zio.
Hi.
How's it
I
going,
love
Zio?
lasagna. I'm doing good. How are you, Spen?
I'm doing pretty darn good. How's your week been?
It's been fan-diddly-tastic.
Fan-diddly-tastic.
Oh yeah, how about yours?
Pretty good, but I don't think it's gonna compare to what's coming up for you this week by the sounds of it.
Yeah? Oh yeah, no, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I still gotta make sure I get permission, but I might just
Permission for what?
ignore my permission. I'm going to a LARP event.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you manage to land yourself that gig?
Well, the Grand Rapids interviews I did on my channel went pretty well when I went to Comic-Con, and I'm like, I want to do more of this, but I want to do something different and not just go out in the street and talk to people. So I'm like, I need to find more nerds. And who are the nerdiest people? But LARPers. And so
Yeah.
I found a LARP event that's like a 2-hour drive, and I'm going to make a day of it.
That is exciting.
It is.
I don't know how to segue back into that.
It's fine. I'm very excited. But I'll tell you what, they get really in depth, dude. Like, I got this sheet they sent to me, and like it's a character profile sheet, and it's really in depth. Like, they want me to create a whole new personality. So like I gotta get a name, a profession, a dwelling, position, parents' names, siblings, interests, vices, influential friends, career goals, my successes and failure in life, my greatest fears, pet peeves, bad habits, enemies, and love interests. Like, it's just that's just half of the list.
The only thing not missing from the list are previous medical injuries, your credit card number, and your social insurance social security number. Is that the one I'm looking for? Social insurance number.
Yeah, those are here too.
Oh, those are there too. What is your social insurance number? I've never heard it before.
It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8
Shoot, I was hoping
9 and 0.
I thought maybe
10, I think.
just maybe.
Almost. You almost got me.
Almost, not even close. But
Or maybe that actually is. Who knows?
it's ridiculous how fast this year has gone by. It doesn't feel like it's December already.
I know. But, I mean, coming into December makes me super pumped.
Why is that?
Super Smash Bros.
Ooh, it's
Oh, crap. Hold on. I lost you. I can't hear you. I accidentally knocked my headset out.
okay. I'm
We're
still
good.
here.
I'm good.
I'm gonna
back.
talk you through
I'm
this.
back.
Just pick up the headphones and put them back on your head.
I'm back. I didn't knock my headphones out. I pulled the
Welcome.
cable connecting them out.
Oh, that's a little different.
Yeah.
It doesn't just start playing through your speakers.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's weird. That's what mine does.
Oh, really?
Unless, well, I guess my microphone, my headset just plugs right into my speakers themselves.
Oh, that
So,
would be why. Mine plugs into my
yeah.
microphone.
You know what they say? Software is like sex. It's better when it's free.
Is that what they say?
Yep, that's what they say.
So,
But
Smash Bros.
oh yeah, Smash Bros. You haven't got the Switch yet, but you're actually gonna buy it to play Smash Bros.
I am gonna get a Switch for Smash Bros. Yes.
I'm impressed.
I-
You've well, because you got Breath of the Wild, so you've been playing it on the Wii U, weren't you?
No, I don't.
Oh,
like
you haven't even
Nintendo.
played Breath of the Wilds yet.
I don't like Nintendo. I haven't had a console
that's
since the GameCube. Well, I
Don't
got
worry
the
about
Wii
it.
initially, and I got rid of it.
Don't worry, everybody. I have protected your ears, and I have.
Well, I might be joining back the family. Okay, the Switch can sway me, and it looks good, and it's for Smash Bros.
Well, I still think really your hatred of Nintendo just comes down to your own pettiness. That's what it is. You had a
Batman-
difficult time with them in the past, and for fair reasons, and you just couldn't let it go. You couldn't move on.
That's
It's like
100%
it's
true.
like when your niece comes over and she accidentally knocks over your bottled ship that you've been working on for 6 months, and then you shun her, and you can't just shun her and hate her for the rest of her life. You've got to tell her you're upset, make sure she knows, and then over time just get over it. And then realize, you know what? She's actually a lot of fun to spend time with.
Yeah, I guess. But we'll see. If I can be R-Jizzle on the Switch.
If you can be what?
R-Jizzle. That was my username that they told me I couldn't have.
We're not even going to get into it, Zio.
This could
So
be This
frustrating.
is so many podcasts worth.
I hate that so much because there's a specific reason why you couldn't have that username. Like
But it's dumb. It's
no,
dumb.
it's not dumb.
It is.
It's got the word jizz in it.
Well, that's because you guys are proof texting. You shouldn't have to be in a society where you take 3 letters out of a word. Assassination has ass in it, but I guarantee you can have assassination in your name. See, you can't argue with the logic.
But your words, I would consider a little more on the worse end of it.
I would disagree entirely. I consider my word cheesy.
No.
Yep.
No. Zio, whatever you like to coat over your pizza, you can keep that to yourself.
Just because you're a Nintendo fanboy, it's okay.
If you'd made a Microsoft account or a Sony account and had that name in it and got banned, I would be saying the same thing I am right now.
But I wouldn't get
just
banned. That's
deal
the
with
thing.
it.
That is the thing. I wouldn't.
Are you sure?
100% positive.
All right. Is it possible to look up Microsoft names?
I'm gonna make a Microsoft account right now.
All right. I'm gonna look up. What is it? Xbox Live name? Xbox gamer tag.
Oh, there we go. Maybe someone already is our Jizzle. That's
probably
fair.
Not, because they probably didn't let them do it. Although, to be honest, there are some very questionable
See?
names. But Nintendo's always been more on the, hey, we're family friendly, we gotta protect people. Because it's just an image we're going for.
Because anytime I've ever said our Jizzle to someone, the first thing to think of is a dick ejaculating on them.
It actually is. Because I don't know what our Jizzle is.
It's our Jizzle for shizzle my nizzle.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. What does the saying even mean?
I don't remember.
Do you know what it means?
It's like for shizzle, my nizzle for sure.
Are you positive?
Yes. Look, we're gonna look it up. Here, I'll look up shizzle. You look up our Jizzle.
Yeah, see, it's a Arjizzle, a pimpin' teenage kid, usually working for a pizza place, gets all the hoes and knows all the bros. So it's still not in the greatest connotation. That's
where are you getting that off of?
Urban Dictionary.
Oh, Chisel in Urban Dictionary is used as a euphemism for shit in various senses and phrases. This chisel is giving me a straight up headache.
Yeah, so there's another reason why they wouldn't want stuff like that.
Hold on. No, we're going to look up Xbox gamer tags.
I'm absolutely
Settle
positive.
this debate once and for all.
I'm absolutely positive it's not on there.
All right, let's see.
How do you spell it?
RJ
Yeah.
IZZLE.
Okay, yeah, that's how I spelled it as well.
No one's on there?
The gamer tag hasn't been created. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. You create that gamer tag.
All right, I'm gonna
and
do
we'll
it.
see how long it takes before it's removed and no longer exists.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna do an X create an Xbox account.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be eating my words here.
Yo, you so are.
Because it's going to last forever.
Let's see. Let's get started.
But I'm absolutely positive. Because did you get banned immediately, or did you have it for a little bit of time?
I cannot use online features because it's offensive.
How long was it before that happened?
Immediately.
Okay, so it's probably just got JIZ that's just flagged.
Probably.
And to be honest, can you really blame that on Nintendo, or do you have to blame that on people because of how crafty and sly everyone tries to get when creating usernames?
Nintendo.
No, that's not how it works.
100%. I shouldn't be filtered for the names I want to make. I understand actual curse words.
Well, maybe some people consider that a curse word.
Nah.
Look, just because people are different, it doesn't mean you have to hate them. Which is exactly what's happening here with you and Nintendo.
I just hate Nintendo as a company. Because they
hate them because they're different.
They also region lock their consoles, okay? That's a real legitimate argument.
I don't believe the Switch is region locked.
Alright. Well, look that up real quick, because I'm trying to create an account.
Well, I guarantee it's not. That was one of the things about it. The Switch is not region locked.
How do you create an Xbox account online?
You go to their website, and you're going to need to make a RJizzle email address as well. Okay, let's save this for after the podcast. Do that after the podcast. And then we'll keep a running tally of how many days it's been since your gamer tag was banned or blocked or anything happened to it. We'll start the timer as soon as this podcast is over. How's that?
Okay.
I will create. I'm sure there's a website out there to create a website that just like tracks how long something's happened for, and we will do that. So Zio, it's almost that time of year.
Yes.
It's almost that time where you get to spend your hard-earned money and gift it away to all the people you care about and those that are acquaintances. How do you feel about it?
Whatever.
Well, in the spirit of giving, I don't have anything for you. But what I do have is some exciting games that are coming out next month. And actually, it's this month now. What am I talking about? This month.
Yeah,
and by exciting games, I mean,
December.
Zio, I can't hold it back anymore. There are two games that I hold true and dear to my heart, and they got DLCs coming out. I'm pumped for, and that's Civilization 6. It's got its new DLC coming out. It's going to add a whole bunch of environmental features to the game, where like volcanoes, and there's these different tiles called floodplains that are actually going to flood now, and it's going to affect things. And I'm so excited. It's going to be great. But I'm actually more excited for a game called Stellaris that has its new DLC, where you basically get to build up your own space empire and explore travel the galaxy, explore it, and take over everyone, murder everything. You can be friends with everybody. It doesn't matter. You can do it how you want. And they got their new expansion coming out, and it changes the game. I'm excited.
Okay, so what are these games about exactly?
Well, they're both strategy games. They're both 4x, which I don't, off the top of my head, I think it's 4x, like 4x. It means explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. So that's what that means. And it's a glorious thing. I absolutely love those games. And they've completely rechanged the marketplace in it. So now there's an actual economy in the game, or it feels more like an economy. There's a slave market coming in, so I can buy and sell slaves, or you can free them. And it's just, there's so many great things. So if anyone else is excited about that game, let me know. And we'll play it when it comes out, because I absolutely adore it. And
What makes you love the game so much?
I just love strategy games. I love micromanaging. It makes me feel good inside, except for when it doesn't work properly. Then I hate it. But when you get that system that's working just right, it just feels good.
Well, I hope you love those games a lot.
There's no hope about it. I'm either going to, or I'm going to pull a Nintendo Zio situation here, where I just hate it for the rest of my life for just no real good reason, you know?
You know, except the differences are, mine is a good reason, but yeah.
So, COG Connected actually came out with, I haven't looked at it yet. They do this, I'm pretty sure, every month.
Okay.
They've got their 3 best and 3 worst games of November 2018.
Okay.
Can you, off the top of your head, think of what was the best?
The West game?
I can't think of anything really off the top of my head. I wasn't following it too closely what games came out last, or even, I don't know if it's new games. Do they do new? I think it's new releases.
Okay.
But I can't think of what would be the best or the worst. Nothing really jumps out of the top of my head that came out last month.
I know Fallout 76 came out last month.
Oh, that's right. That came out last month.
Battlefield 5 came out last month too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Let's Go Pokemon Pikachu and Eevee came out last month.
Was that last month? I thought that was the month before. Am I on drugs?
It must be.
Oh, I didn't know this came out last month. So they got their 3 best ones first. They got Tetris Effect, which is a remake of Tetris. I believe it's even got like a VR mode to it. I don't think the whole thing's VR. I think you can play it in VR or not. There is a guy who's supposed to be considered one of the best Tetris players of all time. And his YouTube channel had him come on to try out Tetris Effect in VR to see what different effects or different how well he could do with the game. And there's some sort of thing that you can do in the game.
Okay.
And he ended up beating it there with him. And I guess he was saying it kind of adds a whole new experience to the game, because usually you're staring at the screen and you're just kind of zoning and enjoying it. But with the VR, it's like the concentration goes up just because that's all you see is Tetris.
Right.
And it was actually a really neat video. I'll see if I can find the link and send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be very interesting to see. Tetris Effect, one of the top 3 games, huh?
Yeah, that's what COG said for...
well, still, I mean, for anybody to say that, it's still crazy. And all these games and advancements we make in Tetris that was made, 30 plus years ago?
Yeah, but how popular is Tetris? Isn't it still one of the top selling games of all time?
Is it?
I'm absolutely positive Tetris is still...
it's a game everyone knows about, but I've never seen anybody actually play Tetris.
The best-selling video game to date is Tetris.
That's crazy.
Tetris is first with 170 million sales.
Wow.
The next one below that is Minecraft.
Of course, it's Minecraft.
Yeah, and then Grand Theft Auto 5, and then Wii Sports.
Wii Sports, yeah, Wii Sports. I thought I was
But I mean,
handing those out with all the Wii's.
But I mean, what's neat is so Tetris is 170 million, and then next is Minecraft 154 million, then Grand Theft Auto 5 100 million, and then Wii Sports is 82 million, and then it just keeps going down from there, and it kind of averages out for the next chunk to be anywhere between 30 and 15 million.
That's an insane jump. That's crazy.
But I mean, it's been around a long time, and it's one of those games that
it's just a classic. Everybody can easily play it.
yeah, and you can get it on mobile, you can get it on consoles, and I guarantee there's not a gamer out there that hasn't. Okay, let me rephrase that. 90% of gamers, I'm pretty sure, have played Tetris in some form.
That's fair.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that hasn't played Tetris, except
I'll-
for babies, and those don't count.
I'll eat my words.
All right, because you've played Tetris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I solved it for you. You're welcome.
Okay,
I don't know what I was
thank you.
solving, but I solved it.
Sure. What was after Tetris Effect?
So their next one's Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. Have you had a chance to try that one out yet?
I've never even heard of that.
You haven't heard of it. Are you a big Witcher fan, or kind of you've
I've played it.
touched it here and there?
Yeah, I don't play it religiously.
Oh, okay. Well, because Thronebreaker, for some reason I have a difficult time saying that, but Thronebreaker, like, it was fairly hyped up when it came out. But I mean, The Witcher's been a very popular game recently, especially with Witcher 3.
Do you count DLC of games, though? Like, I thought this would be like...
Thronebreaker isn't DLC. It is a standalone game. I believe I haven't played it yet. I have it, but, just another one of those games added to the collection that I'll never probably get to for a few years. But I believe it's a top-down. Yeah, so it is a single-player adventure RPG. Oh, it's a card game. Oh, that's right, because Thronebreaker combines the narrative-driven exploration with unique puzzles and card battle mechanics, because Gwent was absolutely massive.
Yes.
People love that. And Thronebreaker kind of does a mix of both, where it still gives you exploration, but you're playing it as a card game.
Interesting. So
yeah,
I did essentially
is it actually Gwent?
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories couldn't do successfully.
Possibly. Oh man, it's like a 30-hour storyline.
Wow.
It's got 20 possible world end states. That's kind of cool.
Made by CD Projekt Red?
It is made by, yes, CD Projekt Red.
Good for them. Company
that is pretty cool.
That is a very impressive company. I may not play their games, but I respect them a lot for what they do.
Well, maybe if it comes out on the Switch, you'll play it.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I have it.
I don't even know.
PS4.
Maybe it is on the Switch. Who knows? You have it for the PS4 and you've never played it.
I bought it and I played it for like a few hours. I got into Gwent and then I stopped.
Oh, you're talking about The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So the next one they've got on here, I haven't heard of. It's called 428 Shibuya Scramble. Shibuya Scramble? I don't know if I'm saying that properly. Probably not. It's apparently a visual novel game. That's an interesting choice.
It is. It must be in... it sounds like a game that came out in Japan that just blew up.
Well, they're calling it a unique and creative visual novel. It's got live actors and short scenes with still image backgrounds to tell its harrowing story about a kidnapped girl. Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm not going to read that. That's some spoilers, but that sounds really awesome. It's actually something I might check out now. That's kind of. I don't think I've seen a visual novel in a while that's done anything like that with like live actors. There were a few on Steam, like small indie games.
Yeah.
That probably got not too much traction just because it was like some.
It's a very specific niche.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to try it out. Definitely. I'm curious how that would work. I mean, can you qualify that as a game though? Like, what is the interactiveness that makes that a game?
Well, visual novels usually have different options and dialogue choices that you can choose.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you've played visual novels before.
I played Doki Doki.
Yeah, you also played Attack Helicopter Dating Simulator.
Yes,
which is another visual novel. Very briefly, but one we will cherish in our hearts forever.
Forever.
So moving to the worst. I haven't heard of this one either. I'm probably saying this wrong. Achtung Cthulhu Tactics.
That definitely doesn't sound appealing.
It is a Lovecraftian horror combined with military tactics. So it's similar. I guess it's compared to XCOM with its
Okay.
style and how it goes.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I might have seen short gameplay footage of this then, but it didn't really seem to pique my interest. But apparently it's a
for
good
good
thing because
reason.
it's on their worst. They're saying here that there's a difference between being inspired by another game and recycling a genre's whole shtick. So they're basically saying it seems they just kind of copied the idea of XCOM, but then done a Cthulhu take to it. So with the whole Lovecraftian, creepy monsters and all those different other things. The gameplay doesn't really feel inspired, and they're just saying it's boring. It's more boring than bad.
Well, boring is always worse than bad, just because bad can at least lead to funniness and good stories and things you can play with your friends and laugh at. As boring
Yeah.
is something you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, pretty much. Bad is, I think when it comes to a game, bad is more often better than boring.
Yes. Because at least bad will have a loyal following.
So they got the next one on here. It's called Corpse Party, Book of Shadows. This is another visual novel. It's actually the sequel to Corpse Party.
Oh, the first one did well enough to get a sequel, huh?
Yeah, they're saying that this is another one that just didn't quite live up to the hype that that might have had.
It had hype?
Apparently it did. But I mean, by the sounds of it, and I'm sure people have figured out, we're not super into the visual novels.
I mean, I would be more than down to do visual novels. I have actually looked for better visual novels to put into my channel because
Oh,
they're
nice.
fun.
Anything pique your interest?
I mean, Attack Helicopter Dating Simulator I really wanted to, but things just didn't work out, so I didn't get it in there.
Well, you could always do Corpse Party and then not do the sequel. Unless the
Yeah, I
sequel's
could.
actually better. Who knows?
I'll have to look up some good
Corpse
ones.
Party. I mean, it doesn't sound very appealing, but
No.
I'm sure it's well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
You should play it on your channel.
We'll see. So I bet you can guess the next one they said that's the worst game of November.
I don't know.
Fallout 76.
Really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they put that on there. Which,
I was
to be
actually
fair,
gonna
there's
guess
a
that.
lot of negative connotations to the game.
So I haven't followed it a lot. Like, did the game just feel underdeveloped, or what? Did they just make a lot of bad choices?
There's a lot of the parts about Fallout I think are kind of missing from it, where there's that story, the NPCs, like the different, like you still get a lot of the exploration and fighting different monsters and stuff like that, but there's just some parts of it just feel missing. It also doesn't help that it was a bit of a buggy mess in certain situations.
Yeah.
And there was basically no communication from Bethesda until actually recently. I think that they started to communicate again and put out information, just say, hey, we're working on this. This is what we're doing.
So my question thing is like, do you think maybe, what is it, COG, they might be being a little too hard on Fallout 76? I mean, is it at a point where it really isn't enjoyable to everybody? Because if you remember correctly, when GTA 5 first came out, they were supposed to have those online features on day one, and it took them a month and a half before online actually became
way
viable?
longer than that.
So, I mean, and that ended up getting in the running for Game of the Year still.
Yeah.
Or
But the
actually,
Game of
it
the-
got Game of the Year.
Well, Game of the Year I thought was for the story, like the main game of it. I don't think they talked too much about the online parts of it for that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of unfair. I mean, as part of the game, it should be critiqued with the game, in my opinion.
No, that's
But,
fair.
I mean, if we're going to be lenient on that because of the studio, I think the studio name is what carried it. Then, Bethesda, granted, they're not as high-end as the people who make
You're talking about Rockstar?
GTA 5. Yeah, Rockstar. Oh, jeez. I don't play a lot of their games, so...
I don't know. Be careful. Those are some fighting words.
Oh, I know how popular the games are, trust me. I'm well aware of Rockstar
But-
and their games, but...
I think what it is 76 is just so different from what a typical Fallout game is. And there's a lot of people that went into 76 expecting another RPG experience that they got from the previous Fallout games. But in this one, they didn't get so much of that. I mean, like, there's some really amazing stories of
Isn't
players.
that their fault then, the player's fault? I mean, just because a company does something different. I mean, look at BioShock. They did BioShock Infinite, which is wildly different from the first two games.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it paid off. I mean, it still had core elements of BioShock, I would imagine. But still, I mean, It's not like they said Fallout 76 is going to be just like the other Fallouts. It's
Well, no,
just
they didn't.
online.
They said it was going to be different. There were going to be different choices. But I mean, if you keep getting a series that delivers to this RPG, this story-driven adventure type thing, and if it keeps delivering it and you find it delivers it well, and then you hear 76 is coming out and they say it's going to be different, and you're like, all right, well, Fallout 4 was different and I still kind of enjoyed that, and then you jump into 76 and like it's far more different mechanics wise, and well, not so much mechanics wise, but it's far more different, I think, in general than the other Fallout games. That it's going to be a bit of a jump. It's going to take a bit of time for people to kind of connect with it and enjoy it. And I mean, it had a lot of negative connotations going into it, being compared to things like Rust. Are we going to have where they were worried about issues of just griefers and all of this?
Yeah.
But there's been some amazing stories of of players going around pretending to be NPCs. There was a great video of some guy opened up his own bar and was like serving. It was like he was going around trying to like play as if he was serving his the bar or his customers. And
That's awesome.
there's some really cool people that like start caravans that like travel around and they like help out new players. And like there's some of those stories that are great, but
Yeah.
sometimes people, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for that game that they can just get lost in and be engrossed in and not have to worry about other players. And it's possible they were hoping for that same experience they got from the other Fallout games, but just weren't able to from this one. But again, as well, the bugs and some of the issues with that definitely didn't help with it when it
That
came
I
out.
can understand. I can understand when the studio definitely they screw up, they mess up. They didn't release a polished and complete game, but some things I think are just players' expectations.
Yeah, and you're never going to be able to. There's always going to be player expectation. There's always going to be issues where it either helps a game or it hampers a game, and it's just kind of how it comes. But
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with 76 was when it was launched, and then there were some bugs and there were issues in the game, and Bethesda was kind of just like, oh, let's not saying anything.
That's fair. Yeah, you got to be transparent, especially in today's age of gaming. It's impossible to have a successful game when you just refuse to communicate with your audience now.
Gotta have communication. Otherwise, how are people going to know what's going on?
Exactly.
You don't say anything, they're just going to make up their own stories.
It's not
Oh,
1991
make up their own
anymore.
stories isn't the right word, but speculation and worry and stuff like that. Because
Right.
it almost, when that happens, it almost feels like they don't have a solution to the problem, and that's why they're not saying anything. So it's like, what's
Right.
going to happen? Plus, I think there was also some issues with returns on the game, where, although I think this one was more recent, there was a lot of fans were trying to return the game, but they couldn't. And then someone from Bethesda, I think he was higher up, said that was coming. You're going to be able to return or get refunds on your game. Just go to this thing and put the information here and blah, 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 blah. So people go to try and do that, but that doesn't work. It asks for specific files, but you can't upload those files. And then I think a couple days later, they take back what was said, and I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that sounds like a mess.
Yeah, it's not fun for anybody. So hopefully it's working out for people. But I'm excited to see what the game has to offer. So,
Okay.
but I actually just stumbled across this today, and it's too exciting not to talk about. There was confusion and different speculation on the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game, where I don't remember what the main villain's name is. It Galeem? Is that
I
it?
don't know. I have no idea.
I think it's Galeem. That's like the big weird
big hand?
light thing with all the hands.
Yeah.
He comes in, starts like zapping all of these characters, wrecking town, and Kirby's the only one that manages to get away. And so when the story, you've seen the trailer for it, haven't you?
I've seen a couple trailers, yeah.
Yeah, so they have one trailer. I'll send you the link to that after this, where all these lights are shooting around, hitting everybody, and then at the end, there's these lights that are chasing after Kirby, but Kirby's on his warp star, and it's
Yeah.
just sailing away, and it's like this cool little quick chase scene, and then some stuff happens, and it ends with Kirby crashing on it looks like this planet that's just been like turned into a crossover of all of the different games and genres.
Yeah.
and they had was it a director? I think it was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's director, Masahiro Sakurai. Maybe I said that one sounded more legitimate for any of the other ones. They actually had a hard time deciding who was going to be the character that you kind of start out with in the story game.
Yeah.
And it came down to 3 different choices. One of them being Kirby because of his Warp Star.
Yeah.
The other 2 were Bayonetta and Palutena. I think I'm saying that right.
Okay.
Palutena. She's the one from. Isn't she the one that from Kid Icarus?
I thought she was a Mario character.
I think Palutena is.
Isn't she the one with like the star and she's like a princess? Blue.
Palutena is she's a fictional goddess from Nintendo Kid Icarus series.
Oh. All right.
So the plan was between one of those 3.
I think they made the right call.
Yeah, just because Bayonetta and Palutena, they have a lot of power from, like, there's a lot of lore reason as to why Gleam wouldn't be able to best them, or maybe they'd be able to survive, but they ended up going with Kirby, which is probably, like you said, probably the best option. Because looking at them, like, Bayonetta's not always seen as the most family-friendly, and Palutena...
I would say that's a terrible reason to choose a character, but okay.
Well, you got to think about it from the perspective of or at least from my perspective, looking at it. If I was Nintendo, like, Bayonetta is definitely like a cool character, and the games of Bayonetta are awesome. But if you're gonna market this game to, because this is a game that children are gonna buy, kids that are gonna be playing this anywhere from ages, like, I'm gonna say 4 and up. Probably some kids younger. So, but if I was a parent and my kid was 6, 5, I had 2 kids, 5 and 6. They wanted to play this game, and I saw the Bayonetta over on the front of the cover. I'd be questioning, like, is this the kind of game that my kids should be playing? I mean, of course, I'd look into it and realize it's fine and let them play it, but Bayonetta doesn't have the image that it's most appropriate.
In one way, I would agree with that statement. In another way, I would kind of disagree. I don't think that was the reason they chose her, or didn't choose her. I think they chose Kirby just for recognizability.
Well, I think, yeah, because that was the other point I have here, where I think most of the reason why they went with Kirby is just because people love Kirby. He's adored. He's also easily marketable. Of Kirby, Bayonetta, and Palutena, Kirby's going to be the name people recognize. His image is something you see and you know what it is. The others, like Palutena, we had to look it up. It's not as easily known. So I like to think they chose Kirby because Kirby is true and dear to all of our hearts.
Yes. Kirby is an awesome character. I love playing Kirby when I played Melee.
I hate playing against him in Melee. Especially in the 64 version. That was my least favorite.
Really? 64 version of Kirby?
Yeah.
I thought the Melee version was worse than the 64 version.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't remember, in the 64, did they have that thing where you could do your little sidestep and, like, dodge off to the side?
Yeah.
Or was that in Melee that came in?
Dodging existed since the beginning.
Oh, then, yeah, I don't know. I just remember having a lot more issue with him in the 64 version.
Maybe you're just terrible.
Maybe. I definitely was. There are no questions about that.
I can't wait for Smash Bros. I'm super pumped. I missed the Wii U version because of my principles, but I'm giving this generation a whole nother try.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Your principles, dumb. And
it's totally valid.
Yeah, okay. Did you ever play Grand Theft Auto Online?
No.
Did you ever play GTA 5?
Kind of.
Kind of. So they have, Red Dead Redemption 2 has been out for a bit now, and their new online mode has come out, which is, I don't remember. No, it's not fully released yet. It was a open beta, I think. I'm pretty sure it was open beta. It wasn't, because the closed beta was before. Yeah, so open beta Red Dead Redemption 2 happened, and there's a bit of questions and concerns coming forth with that, just because a lot of people aren't happy with how little money you make compared to how much everything costs.
Okay.
And that was one of my big concerns coming in with this, because that's a lot of how Grand Theft Auto 5 ended up being, where it takes a while to grind up the money to be able to unlock stuff and get what you want. But if you were to spend money on the game, you get money, like you spend money and you get a fairly decent amount of in-game currency. So it almost felt more valuable to buy the in-game currency. And it seems kind of like it's going a little bit that route in Red Dead Online, where just because like there's certain things where people would try to buy them in the beta, and it said they didn't have enough cash, but they could buy it now with 14 gold. And it's been confirmed that Rockstar that the gold bars are going to be the premium currency that players will be able to buy in the online store. And I'm really worried.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I think.
Well, I mean, it's a great idea for them. I mean, they've made so much money off of Grand Theft Auto Online, and because of that, they've been able to keep putting out tons of really great content for GTA 5 Online.
Yeah, no, I see the benefits of it. I just don't think that's necessarily the right way to go. Like, I don't think you should be allowed to buy money in the game.
Well, it's not
real money.
Yeah, no, I kind of get that, but
I think it's more of like you should be able to spend money to get cosmetics and things to flavor the game up, but the core game of like you need money to purchase things in the game, you shouldn't have to be able to spend money. I mean,
but
it kind of translates.
What if you work all the time and you want to come in and play this game and you want to play with your friends? You work all the time, you've got the disposable income, but because you don't have the time to grind through all this stuff, how are you going to join your friends with certain things? Well, now you have the option. You know, you can spend a little bit of money, you can get the equipment you need, you can go join your friends in some higher level stuff or more difficult things. You can
I guess in a game like Red Dead Redemption, it's a little more lenient. It's a little more lenient because it's not a competitive style game. It's not a game you compete.
Well, it definitely has its own competitive modes in it.
Right, but unless that can directly affect the competitive mode.
But I mean, like you jump into a map and in the online mode, and it's populated by other players. Anyone could come over and kill you. One of them could drop in a couple bucks to buy a whole bunch of really nice weapons and then just come out and start firing them at you.
Well, that's not a competitive game, though. That's just a free roam sandbox game. That's what that
All right,
is.
yeah. No, I'll give you that.
It's different. But I'm saying, like, I mean, the leniency is there because it's not a competitive game. But at the same time, if this becomes successful, it's very dangerous because other games will do it, you know? And then you'll
there's
get
a lot of
into competitive games that will do it.
Uh,
There's a lot of games that do it right, where you buy cosmetics with money. That's fine. Cosmetics and everything like that is 100% fine. I'm 100% support building a business model by having people pay for cosmetics. That is 100% fine. Buying gear and things that help you advance in the game, I don't think is acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think I'm really concerned about that, though, because look at
Star
how
Wars-
it happened with Battlefront 2.
That's the problem. It happened with Battlefront 2.
But the fans revolted and they realized, all right, we got to change this up, and they did.
Because they took it too far.
Yes, but how do you find where the soft spot is? How do you find out what's the right amount? You can't find out how much is perfect until you've gone too far and you haven't done it enough.
Yeah, you could, but it's not a good practice. I don't think it's a good business practice model.
I don't think it is either, but I mean they found out, okay, we've definitely pushed it too far. Now we've got to either tone it back or do it again, but hide it better.
Yeah. I mean, the ideal way to go, like I said, is cosmetics. I don't think you should ever be able to pay to win for any game. It takes away from the gaming experience, I believe. But, I mean, your argument, a guy who works and just wants to play with his friends, well, I mean, there's ways to work around that, too. You know, his friends don't have to... They can make second accounts or something, I'm sure, right? Can you make multiple accounts in GTA 5?
You can have other characters, yeah.
Well, I imagine you probably do a similar thing.
But that's not as fun, though, because now you don't get to do some of the late-end things. I mean, like, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a little different, where you can... I mean, any character can really join a high-level person and be a part of any of the things that they do.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not as fun without having the equipment.
Like a level game? Like, does it have levels? Like, Like any kind of role
I'm
playing game?
sure there's like a score that you'll slowly increase, but it's not like an RPG where you get more health
Well, then
or
it doesn't really
or
matter
your
then.
stats increase.
I mean, it doesn't matter where he doesn't need it then. You don't need to spend money to get better gear to be better at the game. You could just
But
use
what if there's
you
a
have
really
and
cool
stuff.
weapon and you don't have the time and you don't feel you have the time to go around and just grind for it? Now you can just you throw down $5, now you've got it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think that's cool because then it doesn't set a good example for other gaming companies because then you're gonna get into MMORPGs where you could spend $20 and get the best sword in the game, or you can grind for 15 hours doing this dungeon over and over and over again to get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
but what if you don't want to grind? What if you got the $20? You're like, oh, sure, I'll do it. Now I don't have to
What?
worry about that.
I guess it depends on what your value of a game is then, because to me, that's just what's the point of playing the game if you're just gonna buy everything, and what the part of enjoying a game is working your way to it. That's
For
how I
you,
view
yes.
it.
For
Yeah.
others, probably not.
No, you're not wrong. It's a bad business model, and I think it's dangerous.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I just enjoy it. Similar to what you like doing sometimes. It's important to do the two sides of the spectrum.
The devil's advocate. I understand it.
Yeah.
It just you don't cater to the minority. You cater to the majority. That's how it should work.
Well, what if the majority wants to spend their money?
I guess if it's the majority rule,
Maybe
then I need
you're
to shut
just
up.
the minority. You're just an old man, and you're
That's
like, I don't
fair,
want to
maybe.
spend my money, but everybody else realizes spending money is fun.
Maybe I am the minority then. Then in that case, then I mean my words are still right. Go with the majority.
I believe in you.
Okay.
I believe in you, Sierra.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it pays off for them. Again, hopefully the fans will do what they did with Battlefront and be like, "Hey, don't do this." But the difference is this is Rockstar and not EA, as EA already has a bad rap. Rockstar does
I
not.
mean, Rockstar didn't do it in a bad way with Grand Theft Auto. I'm pretty sure, like, they actually did it fairly well with their online thing with the money in there, where there was never a point where someone would just be able to go and buy like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of all these things and then just be unstoppable. I mean, there were definitely there were definitely some vehicles that they could purchase where it was frustrating to fight against, but not once did I ever feel like I couldn't stop them.
Right. I mean,
So
yeah, I'm okay with that. It's just it's a slippery slope just because gamers are weird creatures. We're weird individuals to where if a game company already has a bad rap, we're easy to hate everything they do. But when we love a game company such as Rockstar and they do the same thing, we can overlook it.
well, the difference between this was in Grand Theft Auto when, like with Rockstar, when you spend money, you're getting the in-game currency. When you spend the in-game currency on stuff, you're doing fine. But wasn't it with Battlefront, you would spend money on random boxes that would maybe give you something good?
Yeah, but it wasn't just that because loot boxes isn't uncommon. I mean, that was in many other games. It was how they did it. That was your progression system. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't have a separate progression system and loot boxes. It was the only way you could progress was through loot boxes.
Yeah.
That's what made it garbage. Like, if they had done it smart and be like, oh, you can progress this way pretty easily, or you can buy loot boxes and just get extra stuff for fun.
Yeah, well, I think Battlefront 2 is the only game I can think of off the top of my head that did it that way. I don't know of any other games that
they weren't
progress like that.
100%. There was other games, not the exact same way, but like Evolve. They didn't do it exactly like that, but Evolve tried to do something similar where like you had to spend $60 on the game. That gave you 3 monsters and like 6 characters. But on day one, they released, I think it was like 5 or 7 monsters, and then there are like 12 characters you could get.
That's
and
right.
You could buy all of those guys to fully enjoy the game, and it was like $180 to get everything.
Yeah, which sucks because it was a really good game.
I was super pumped for Evolve, but when they did something like that and I read that, I refused to buy the game just because you got to have a principle somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Although like they finally made it free and I want to play it.
So do I. We're going to have to do that then because I played it, one of its betas when it first came out, and I just fell in love with the mechanics of it.
The idea of the game is one of my favorites. I mean, it's why I love
loved
Friday
being
the
the monster.
13th. I love Friday the 13th when you get to be Jason or the counselors. I love games like that.
No, you can keep your horror games to yourself for those.
What? Friday the 13th is the same game. It's basically the same as Evolve.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's scary.
It's not that scary.
So I have a list here, and you
I also
have a list there.
I'm waiting for this part. I'm excited for this one.
So Metacritic has a list of all the games that have come out in this last year, and I've got two versions of it. I got the Metascore and the user score of the top games out of the whole entire year, and they've got every single game on this list.
And so everyone's aware, I have not seen this list, but I made my own because we're trying to.
We're gonna see how close or how many Zio can get on his list that are on this list for the top. We're going top 10, right?
Yeah, we're doing the top 10, and for both
you
lists,
have 15
I have 15 options that can be on either list.
By the sounds of it, you also wrote down a few honorable mentions.
I did, but then I kind of combined them into 15. So I just have
cool.
15 options.
All right. Well, what's the first one you've got on there?
All right. In no particular order do I think this is number one or less. I'm just going down the list of when I wrote these.
Okay.
One is Monster Hunter World. I think it came out like January or February. I think that's on the list.
Monster Hunter World on the user score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is not there.
It's not in the top 10? Oh, shit. I've lost so much confidence now. I was like so sure that was going to be on there. That game was like so well received. I didn't understand.
I'm not even seeing, like, I'm doing like a search here and I'm not finding Monster Hunter.
How big is your list?
The list is huge. It's got 3 whole pages of this, and each page has got probably like I'd say close to 100 games on it.
Good
each page.
Lordy, Monster Hunter World isn't in the top.
Well, when
10.
did Monster Hunter World come out?
It came out in like January, February, I thought.
Monster Hunter World was January 26, 2018.
Yeah.
So now the question is, can we find it on this list?
Yeah, let's find it. I have to know where it sits.
I was looking at the last 90 days. I got to switch this back to year.
Oh my gosh.
I messed that up. All right, going back to... Oh, the user score doesn't go by year. It just goes the last 90 days.
Well, that changes everything.
Garbage.
That's garbage. All right, so...
Oh, this is the worst. Oh, Monster Hunter is on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 15, 16, 17, 18 on the list for Metacritic.
18. Holy crap.
And I can tell
this
you
year.
And I can tell you it is not on the user list because it only has a user Metacritic score of 7.2.
Wow. All right.
It's not even in the greens.
I like never even look at reviews, so it's dang. Okay. So, man, that really hurt. I was confident that was going to be on there somewhere. All right, well, this one is kind of a biased choice for me, but Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus.
The remake that came out for the PS4. I think it came out also pretty early in the first few months.
Number 14.
It's not in the top 10.
No.
Dang it. But it's at least close. It's close. All right.
It's close. Its Metacritic score is a 91 and its user score is an 8.5, so it is not going to be on the top of the user list either.
Dang it. All right. Well, I'll go through honorable mentions that I put on my list because I just ran out of space. I didn't think of anything. We Happy Few. I don't see this being on there, but I just threw that
No,
up
I'm
there.
not seeing that up there either.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like it's on the first page.
I didn't think so. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is not on their list. It's not on the first page anyways.
Okay, Return of the Double Dragon.
Ooh. I have Return of the Obra Dinn, but that's not on the list either. It's not on the top 10, it's farther down.
All right. Now I'll go back to my other list. Good
Okay.
lord, this is like destroying me.
Oh, I'm
All right.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Subnautica. I know that officially came out.
Subnautica is on there, but it's only got an 87, so it doesn't even break the top 10.
Good lordy. Red Dead Redemption 2. That's gotta be a
You
solid
actually get
choice.
2 points for that because it's number 1 and number 2 for the Xbox One and the PS4. I don't know how it's on there twice for that, but it is on there.
That seems kind of ridiculous.
See, congratulations, you get 2 points.
All right. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It is going to be too far down. It's not on the top 10. It's got an 80.
Okay.
Come on. It is only at 87 again.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
I am not seeing that on the top 10 either.
Oh my goodness.
It's on here. It's got the PS4 and the Switch version, but that's again another just an 87.
Man, okay. Let's dig deep in here then. I'm gonna go with this hope. Detroit Become Human. I personally love that game. I wish it would be on that list.
Detroit is not on the first page of results.
Dang it.
That being said, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like the first page
Yeah,
only
no,
goes
I
down.
understand
like the
that.
lowest
Just
score
the top
is an
10,
84.
It's just crazy to me that none of these.
Oh, here, let me
besides Red
recount
Dead-
this. I'm gonna skip the because there's a few of them here where it's got duplicates. So I'm gonna skip 1, 2, 3, 4.
The duplicates are kind of cheating. That's not exactly fair.
9, 10. Oh, okay, so if we skip the duplicates, Shadow of the Colossus is still just out of the top 10.
Damn it! All right. This better not be on there. Fortnite Battle Royale.
I do not see Fortnite
Thank God.
on the
Okay,
first
there's
page
still,
of this.
There's still hope in this world. All right. Moving on. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Crash Bandicoot is not on the first page results.
God lordy. You're destroying me right now. All right. Spider-Man. That has to be on there, right? Spider-Man was so well received.
Spider-Man comes in at a score of 87. Doesn't even break into the 90s for the Metacritic.
Oh my
score,
goodness.
For the Metascore.
Oh my goodness. I've only got 3 more guesses.
Uh-oh.
Mario Tennis Aces.
Not on the first page.
Okay, these other 2 games were very close to me. That really hurts. Persona 5?
Persona 5, unfortunately, it's only got a score of 72. Doesn't make it to the first page.
God of War. That has to be there.
God of War, yes, that is number 3, but if you count duplicates, number 2. Congratulations.
I got number 1 and 2, and that's it. I mean, at least I
Technically,
got
you
the
got
top
1,
2.
2, and 3, because the first 2 are Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Xbox One, and the second one for PS4.
That's so
What's
insane.
neat is the user review of Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Xbox One is 7.2, but for the PS4, it's 7.8.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm sure there were different reviews for
Yeah,
both
no,
of
I
them.
get it. It just seems so weird.
It does.
All right, so
Well,
what's the top 10 then? Like, what's
All
the
right,
top 10
so-
for the user?
Unfortunately, the user only goes the last 90 days. It doesn't give me.
That's fair. That's fine. I'm just curious what it is.
So for the last 90 days, we've got Final Fantasy Pocket Edition HD.
I thought about that too, but then I'm like, Final Fantasy 15 didn't review that well.
We've got Dragon Quest Echoes of an Elusive Age for the
Of course,
PS4.
I didn't think of Dragon Quest.
We've got Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Okay.
I owe you a point for Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Okay.
Then there is World of Final Fantasy Maxima.
All right.
Marvel Spider-Man is on the users list for 8.7.
Oh, so you owe me a point there too.
I owe you a point there as well.
Hmm.
We've got, again, what's that one? Some skipping duplicates. Mega Man 11.
I almost put that on my list.
There's Teiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun for the Switch.
Okay.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, I didn't think about Xenoblade.
There's the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Overcooked 2. Valkyria Chronicles, Luigi's Mansion.
I
Child
even
of
mentioned
Light.
Valkyria Chronicles to you earlier. Dang it.
So for the meta score, though, because that was all the
Okay.
user ones. So that ended you with a score of 5. Congratulations. I apologize for not giving you 2 of your points.
It's okay.
When I realized when it didn't do the by year, I just stopped looking at the user score. So that was my bad. So Red
That's
Redemption
fine.
2 is number 1. God
Okay.
of War for number 2.
Yep.
And we got Celeste for number 3.
What is Celeste?
Celeste is... it came out for the Xbox One, or at least that's what they've done for here. And I believe it is it's an action 2D platformer.
That would be why I haven't heard of it. I don't have.
I
Xbox.
believe it is it's an indie game.
Okay.
So then we have Undertale for number 4.
Undertale came out. I thought Undertale came out years ago.
This is for the Switch.
Oh. All right.
I know this type of thing, this way, doing the list this way wasn't fair for you, but I loved it. Horizon, we've got Forza Horizon for the Xbox One, number 4.
Okay.
We've got Divinity Original Sin 2, Bayonetta 2, and then there's Inside, Sonic Mania Plus, Dead Cells, and then unfortunately it's after that Shadow of the Colossus comes in.
That's fine.
But, I mean, you did better than I thought. When I looked at the list, I was like, nope, I wouldn't have gotten... I looked at the list after, and I was like, I'd have gotten 3 points. That was it.
Dang it. I thought some of my guesses were going to be so good.
I thought they were too.
Dang.
And then I searched them up, and they were not. But then some of them turned out to be good after, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I only went off a few of things that I remember seeing people rave about and stuff. Like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, so many people went nuts about that game. I've heard so many great things about Mario Tennis Aces.
It's definitely good. I enjoy playing it.
I'm mostly, but I mean, on the same note, I should have thought about it because what I hear a lot is the story's kind of meh, but the multiplayer is so much fun.
Yeah.
Dang it.
But it's always neat to see how far different the user score can be versus the meta score.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting because critics tend to, I don't know, overanalyze silly little things and don't tend to consider the fact that just enjoyment of a game. But on the same side, users tend to be, I mean, there's bias everywhere, but user people just tend to have heavier bias for certain things.
Yeah. But we're running out of time here for the podcast. I think I'm just going through my notes here. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to touch on. Anything exciting we haven't mentioned that you want to bring up?
Wreck-It Ralph 2 was a good movie. I enjoyed it. No spoilers, but there is a scene, it's in the trailer, involves the Disney princesses. Definitely the best part of the movie.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
You need to see it. It's fantastic. I loved it. Loved everything about it.
I missed something here. There's a German retailer, Media Market, where they put a listing, somehow a list of unannounced of games came out, and on there they had listed for the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, Assassin's Creed compilation. That's all they had for it, so who knows? Maybe Ubisoft might be releasing a compilation of Assassin's Creed games next year. So
that'd be interesting.
I was surprised to see the Switch on there.
Well, I'm not. The reason I'm more down to switch back to Nintendo Switch is like you and I have talked about this in good length.
Every podcast.
Big disappointment, but the Switch I think is making a lot. I think Nintendo really learned from their mistakes, and I think they've made a lot of really good pushes and have accepted a lot of third-party support.
Yes, I think that is
So-
an excellent way of putting it.
I think the Switch has definitely been for the company a very wise decision, and I think they should expand upon the Switch itself. Like the Wii was immensely successful because it was new and fresh. The Switch, while the idea is kind of newish, I mean the practice of it is new. The idea of the Switch isn't really new, but I wouldn't mind another generation of a Switch coming out in the future to be better than what it is now. I could definitely see. Because Nintendo dominates the handheld, and I think this is the perfect blend of console and handheld. I would love to see Nintendo affect PlayStation and Xbox and see them make similar things. But that's all the time we have for today, guys. Son of a geek.
We just, from us, I know it's a little early, but we just wish to, we'll just send out a quick wish of a happy Christmas.
Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Oh,
Merry Crisis.
Merry Canula.
Merry Chrysler.